Hi out there. Welcome to Northern Zen Yoga. My name is Sandra. And oddly enough, my chat is not working. I'm not too sure why. However, if you can access your chat from where you're watching, if you want to just send me a chat that says your first name and where you're watching from, then I'll see if something pops up on the screen. But like normally I can actually type in things and speak with people through a chat method, but it's not showing up at all. So I'm not too sure what's going on with that. But anyway, we're going to give people a few minutes. People are just starting to check in now. So it's one of those days where I don't know what it's like where you are, but here it's trying to decide if it wants to be winter again. We had snow flurries, like wet snow, but it got cold enough that the rain started coming down in flakes, and and it's very gray and dull. So that's pretty depressing for April. Anyway, if you can and you're able to see the chat feature on your particular tablet or computer or phone, whatever you're using to stream this, just send me a message so I can see if mine is working, because right now it says live chat, but there's nothing. There's nothing telling me that I can send a message to anyone, nothing. And if you are sending me chat messages and I'm not responding or saying hi to you personally, to your name, that's why, because it's not working. I'll have to, I don't know, I guess I'll have to complain to YouTube. They changed something. There is a few things I could choose. I chose one of them and it turned off the whole thing. So I had to re-establish it again on the link. So I don't know, technology, who knows? Oh, I got a thumbs up. So I don't know what thumbs up is for, that you can hear me and see me and everything's good, hopefully. So again, a few people are still checking in, so I'm going to give them a few minutes. Make sure you have the things you need for yin yoga. This is going to be a yin yoga class. Oh, I just realized my light is off here. Hang on a second. So turn that on so it's a little brighter and not in shadow on one side. There we go. Okay. So make sure you have the things you need for your class today, being that it's yin yoga. And definitely you need a block or something like it to help with some of the postures, to make things a little more comfortable for you to settle into the pose, because we hold these poses for the most part today. We'll be holding them for 4 minutes each shape that we go into. So the other things you might want to have handy is a blanket. A blanket also can serve as something that you can rest yourself on to help with the long period of time that you're going to be in the shape. I have a cushion here. You can use little throw cushions. You don't have to have anything too fancy. And I always recommend that you put your socks on. If you're in bare feet, which normally we would be in bare feet for yoga class, in yin, I always recommend that you put socks on, keep your feet warm. We're not in any kind of balancing postures where we have to make sure we have a good grip on our mat. And also you see I'm wearing a sweatshirt and a little bit warmer sweatpants. That's because in yin, because we aren't moving as much as we are in our regular practice and we're holding the postures for that period of time, you can get cool. You can cool down too much and feel cold. And if you're feeling cold, your muscles will start to tighten up, and we don't want that happening. So even if you can artificially raise the temperature in the room by turning your thermostat up, if you still have it on in some places, like I do here today, or if you've got a little space heater or something, you can make the room very warm. Yin is a beautiful hot or warm yoga practice. So again, I apologize if you can't send me a message or I just can't see it, but I'm going to say hi to everybody out there that's watching. Hello. And I just want to remind you that this will be the last Friday live yoga class for a little while anyway, at least for the month of May. because during the month of May, I am going to be streaming on Zoom a lot more classes. So in order to join the Zoom class, you would have to go to my website, www.northernzenyoga.com. Go to the live yoga class tab. And in the drop down, you're going to see when you come to that page, different days through the week. And each day has a specific link to the Zoom meeting room. And on that meeting room, you'll be able to go live with me in the classes. It's a little bit different on Zoom. On Zoom, you have the option to be seen and to be heard, and for us to talk to you and see you. That's your choice, though. You don't have to. You can keep the camera off, and most of the time, the microphone's going to be off anyway, so that there's no interruptions to my speaking through the class time. But in the beginning, you can chat with each other, and at the end, you can chat with each other too. And it feels a little bit more like a yoga studio experience. Now, I don't care what you look like. You're all beautiful to me. So don't worry about things like, like how I will perceive you. As long as you have embraced yoga and you love your practice, I love it back. So don't worry about stuff like that. Now, the other thing I want to remind you is that you can print off the calendar for the month of May, the days, times of the yoga classes by going to that same page, and a little bit farther down, you'll see the calendar. And there's also a place where you can download it to your computer or print it off on your printer. So keep that in mind if you want to join a lot of the classes, what time and what day they are. Tuesday, there will always be a YouTube live class. Every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard or New York time, there will be a live class on YouTube. So that won't change. It's just the Friday on YouTube class that I've cut out because I have added so many other classes on other days. We did a poll and people told me what days they would prefer. So I'm playing with that. I'm seeing if that works. If I get people coming and joining me, those times will stay. And as we move forward into the future, I'll explain a lot more about how it works with Zoom and how you become part of a Zoom class on a regular basis. So don't worry about that. All right. Looks like we've probably got everybody that's going to join us today. So again, I apologize if you sent me a message on the chat board. I can't see it. For some reason, YouTube is not letting me see it. So I'm just going to just go with the flow today and just say hello to everyone who's watching. And if you needed to ask me a question today, anything important at the end of this class, or anything you needed to know or weren't sure about what I just said about the Zoom, you can send me a message on Facebook. Northern Zen Yoga is on Facebook as well. You can also message me through my website. There's a place where you can contact me. There's a tab you go to that says Contact Us, and you can send me an email and ask me your question, and I will definitely reply back. No problem with that. All right, so let's begin. So just getting to a comfortable, easy pose, what's easy for you to sit in, and we're going to just breathe for a few moments and get settled into our body. So what I want you to think about today in your yin class is trying to keep yourself in that place where you feel the achy, stretchy feeling. Quite often in yin, we start off, and I don't even recommend that you push yourself as far as you know you could go for a quick stretch. We find ourselves in a position and we can feel it, and then after a little while, the feeling or the sensation intensity starts to go away. What you need to do then is you need to see if you can move deeper into the stretch by pushing yourself just a little bit further. We never want to go into pain. Pain is something we have to avoid at all costs. But that achy, stretchy feeling is what we're going for. That is when you know you're taking the muscles, you're taking the fascia, you're taking the tendons to the place where they are stretching. They're uncomfortable, but they're not painful yet. So that's where we want to be. We want to always be keeping ourselves in that place. So when you go into your stretch, find the place where you start to feel it. You can stop there, but then after a little while, move things out of the way if you've got yourself propped up and see if you can just go a little bit deeper. The postures are going to be held for 4 minutes. So during that time, you're going to have tension build up in your body, especially if you're in a position where you're not comfortable. So what you're going to do then, and sometimes I will cue you to do this, but please don't wait for me to do it. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale it out through the mouth. Just sigh it out, moan it out, grunt it out. Allow the body to release the tension that is built up inside of it. One of the beautiful things about yin yoga is that it is stress relieving. And it only can be really effective as a stress reliever if you're willing to release that stress that your body starts to build up inside of you, starts to bubble up into your chest. You'll feel it. You'll want to moan or groan, just like when you get a good massage and you go, oh my God, that felt good. This can happen too for you in yin. That's when you know you really put yourself in the position where you're releasing the tension in your body. So don't fight that. Don't worry. You're probably by yourself, so nobody else is going to hear you. And if your dog is nearby or your cat, they're just going to come and cuddle up beside you thinking you need a hug. But don't worry about that. And practice that inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So let's inhale into your belly and exhale through the mouth. Notice your body's response. Your shoulder blades relax down, your shoulders drop down a little lower. Let's inhale again through the nose and exhale, let it go through the mouth. Let that tension out. So our first position we're going to go in is the half butterfly. We're going to hold this for 4 minutes. So you can either be sitting up on a cushion if you like, or you can move down flatter onto your mat. You're going to extend your right leg out in front of you. And your object is to try to flatten the leg down onto the mat if you can. If your knee is bent and you're feeling resistance and you can feel that tugging happening, you're doing it. So don't worry about whether or not you go the same, looking the same as I do. So the other leg is brought in toward the groin. So again, if you can't bend your knee very well and you're way out here, just bring that knee to the position where you can feel the tension in the leg as you're trying to bring the compression of the knee toward the thigh. That's when you can grab a blanket or grab a block and just shove things under here and allow your leg to relax out there. Slowly, as things progress, see if you can just bring that in a little closer, play around with that. But for now, we're just going to begin by inhaling, a nice deep inhale, stretching up through the rib cage. You can reach up toward the ceiling if you like, if that helps you to stretch out your spine. And on your exhale, you're dropping your belly toward your thigh. You're not worrying about your head. Getting your head down is not what we're going for. We're going for pressing the belly to the thigh. This makes sure we're using that joint at the hip. Oops. So I'm going to start our timer. So let's take that deep breath in, inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And find your first stretchy place. First place you can feel it. And relax here. If you feel having your head hanging out in space is too distracting, You can bring your block here, bringing your block in front of you, resting your hands on the block and resting your head on your hands. Take a deep breath in again. Exhale through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose, and moan it out. One more deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. You can go just a little deeper, just a few more seconds left. And slowly use your hands, push yourself upright again. And then we're going to help our legs up, coming into comfortable bent knee position. And this just allows the body to come back from the stretch into a contraction without injuring it, just giving it a few minutes. And then we're going to switch sides. So stretching out the left leg this time, bringing the right leg in as far as you can. And remember that each side of your body is a little different. So this side might feel easier to do. It might feel harder to do. You might be able to bring things closer depending on your knees. And get yourself into position. Use your props to help get you comfortable. And we're going to begin by inhaling, stretching up through the rib cage. Exhale, forward fold. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And allow yourself to melt down. Take a deep breath in, exhaling through the mouth. Allow yourself to relax down just a little more. Take another deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Let's take one more deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Just a few more seconds left before we come up. See if you can go just that little bit farther today. Slowly, using your hands, push your body upright again. Bring your knees up, comfortable position in front of you, and just relax here for a moment, letting everything come back. So if you're joining me and you've tried to sign in and say hi to me, I can't see it. The chat in my window is not working with the feed today, so I apologize for not being able to say hello to everybody personally as they join the class. But I love you anyway. Okay, we're going to go into our next position, which is cobbler pose. So we're going to bring our feet together, and your feet can be way out here, or they can be in a lot closer. But what you want to do is have at least this much space between your groin area and your heels. So when you put your hand down, you can put your full hand in that space. This space is where your belly is headed. Into that little hole there you've created between your heels and your body. And if you have a nice round belly like I do, it's a lot easier to find that space. However, in any case, let's just set the timer. Now, as well here, your knees might be up high. You might want to shove some blankets or some pillows under here to help to support you. But if you are brave enough to allow your legs just to hang out into space for the 4 minutes, you're going to get much deeper stretch. So we're going to start the timer. Take a deep breath in, lengthen up through the spine. You can grab your ankles, you can grab your shin bones, but don't hang on to your knees. And on the exhale, we're just going to bring our belly down as far as we can till we feel the first stretching happening. And that's where we're going to stop. Let's take another inhale, deep inhale through the nose, and let it go through the mouth. See if you can drop just a little further. If your feet allow, you can open your feet up like a book and think about putting your face down there one day. Just remember as you're in this stretch that you want to feel something stretching. So make sure if you stop feeling the stretch that you take yourself just a little deeper. Push yourself down just a little further. Take a deep breath in again. Exhale through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just a few more seconds left. Inhale slowly as you come back up again. Help your knees up. Bring your legs into a bent position. Okay, I just got a message from one of our regular watchers, and she said that they had been waiting online on the feed for a long time and nothing has happened. So I'm wondering what's going on with this. This is very, very strange. Sorry for delaying things slightly here. She's not even seeing my post back. I'm just going to be checking actually onto YouTube to see if I can pull it up myself. I apologize. We're just going to take a break from it. Just relax for a second. Hey, technology, man, I hate it. Okay. Let's just see if I go here. I can see myself looking at my phone. Right. Okay, I see that Alyssa's on and Susan's on and Michelle and Brenda and Lisbeth and Jerry. Okay, so hopefully Dottie signs out and signs back in again. I apologize totally for this. This is not me. This is YouTube being weird. Okay. I'm going to get out of this so I don't hear myself anymore. Hopefully Dottie will try to sign back in again. Alyssa is telling me that the video feed has been working. Thanks, Alyssa. I guess Dottie, for some reason, hers isn't working, so let's hope she got my message to sign in again. That's too weird. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. I'm so sorry about that. All right. So the next one we're going to go into is called, I'm not even sure what it's called. Actually, it's extension of the legs. We're going to come into the seated forward fold, or a variation of it. And what I'd like you to do, if you've got a small pillow or you've got your blanket folded up, to stick that just underneath your thighs. What I want is I definitely want a knee bend happening. In this particular forward fold, what we're going to stretch is the stirrup muscles that go from just around where your sit bones are and attach and overlap with the hamstrings, and they go up your back. They're those big flat muscles that if you put your hands just below your waistline and just above your cheeks of your bum, that's what we're going to be stretching. So in order to make sure we're not over engaging the hamstrings to get the most stretch in that area of the body, we are going to have a slight bend in our knees. So just like before, we're going to raise up our arms above our head to stretch up through the rib cage. And on the exhale, we're bringing our belly down onto our lap. Now, you can have your knees bent as much as you need to here, as long as you can feel your back stretching. If you have your legs relaxed out and you still don't feel too much stretch, and you can actually reach your feet, grab the bottom of your feet and begin to pull against the bottoms of your feet in order to elongate the muscles in your back. So take a deep breath in. On the exhale, relax down a bit. Remember, you can work on pulling against the bottom of your feet to stretch your back out more if you feel you need it. If you feel tension building up, remember to take those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Take a deep breath in again. One more deep, slow breath in. And let it go through your mouth. Just take that a little bit deeper, just for a few more seconds. And then using your hands, slowly push your back upright again. Bring your knees up. Hug them in toward your chest. Get your blanket out of the way here. And just breathe for a few moments. I'm seeing a few more faces coming onto the feed, so hopefully those that were waiting for some reason and it wasn't working, they got in. Told them to sign out and sign back in again. So the next posture we're going to go into is called the deer pose. So for most of you, I think that you are going to find the deer pose a lot easier if you sit up onto a small cushion or onto your folded blanket. But and even if you have very, very, very tight hips, you can sit up on a bolster cushion if you have one. Something folded up like this should probably be enough to help you get into the position. So deer pose, we simply have one leg folded in front of us. So we're going to fold the right leg in front of us, and we're going to bring the left leg back. So the left leg back is going to be probably the more difficult of the two. In order to do this properly, we need to make sure that we tuck this leg in as tight as we can to the body. Now, this is where, for some of you with tight knees, this is going to be very difficult. And that's why sitting up on a cushion will help with that. So that even if you haven't been able to bend your knee much more than this, 90 degrees, you should be able to keep both of your bum cheeks planted down. So play around with that until you have a good solid plant with your bum onto either a cushion, a blanket, or a block, even if you don't have any of the above. And you want to make sure both of your bum cheeks are touching down onto the surface. You don't want to be leaning like this so that one cheek only is taking the weight of your body. The reason for this is because we're trying to get this joint here to move. Now, a lot of us are very tight in the hip joint. One of the things that helps, of course, is if you can open up this angle a lot more. If this leg is out a bit too far, because you can't bend this knee, you might find it a little bit harder to get both cheeks down without readjusting your pillow so that you have maybe one side just a tiny bit higher than the other. For me, however, I'm going to come down and I'm going to sit flat on the floor. So deer pose looks like this in the front, and I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see. And it looks like this from this angle. So using your cushion, using your block, using your bolster, whatever you have, if you cannot sit flat on the mat, putting both your bottom cheeks down onto the mat doesn't mean you have to have full weight on both sides. But at least have to make contact. We're going to, where's my phone gone? We're going to start the timer here. And if you find that this 4 minutes is way too long for you, you can come out of it when your body tells you you need to come out of it now. So let's take a deep breath in. In through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And just relax into this. Try to breathe deeply. Make sure you're not tensing up. If you feel yourself building tension in your body, take a lot of those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's take another deep breath in and let it go. Let's take another deep breath in. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Just a few more seconds to go. Very gently and very slowly, you're going to start to unwind your legs, bring them forward. Be really mindful about this leg that's been bent back. Stretch it out, give it a rub. And just put your legs in some kind of neutral position, just so that the muscles can come back again. And then we're going to reposition ourselves the opposite direction so that this time it's the left leg in front and the right leg is brought behind. Keeping in mind that each hip is different, so this side might feel easier, it might feel harder. For me, this is my easy side. The other side was a little more difficult. So here we're working on the internal and external rotation together in the hip joint. Let's take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, see if you can settle your weight down onto your bottom. Remember, if you need to, on this side, you might need to use a cushion. You might need to reposition the cushion. So make sure your knee is not in any kind of pain. Take a deep breath in. And exhale through the mouth. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Once again, if you feel that you cannot stay in this posture the full 4 minutes, feel free to come out of it if you have to. Let's take another deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth, let it go. Very slowly and gently unwind yourself. Take care of the back leg. Make sure you're not twisting it too much as you bring it out. And bring your knees into a neutral position. And just relax here for a moment while your body comes back. One of the beautiful things about yin, if you're not familiar with it, is that quite often very strong emotions can surface, especially in the beginning when you're first learning the practice of yin and you have a lot of tension in your body. As your pelvis starts to release the tension in it, quite often you might feel the urge to cry, or you might even feel angry. I've even had people who started to laugh uncontrollably, possibly because that's how they deal with stress. So don't be afraid of that. Allow that to happen. That is a beautiful byproduct of yin, the release of that pent-up tension and stress that we are very good at burying down inside us. Women, we hold our emotions in. We let them leak out once in a while in certain circumstances, but a lot of the time, we are keeping things that we're feeling really bad about, really sad about, or even angry about, buried deep inside us. So yin allows us to release that. We're going to come down onto our back. So I want you to come down nice and easy. Take your time. We've been doing a lot of forward bending, so your back might need a little bit of encouragement to flatten down a bit. And make sure you have a block. If you don't have a block and you have a very tender pelvic area, you can still use your blanket folded up so that you have a pad at least a couple of inches high. Or if you want, you can put a small cushion underneath. But we're going to come into what's called supported bridge pose. So in this particular pose, you're working on putting the object, whether it's your block, your blanket, into the flat area just above your bum cheeks, but not as high as your spine. So between the bottom of your spine and the top of your bum, this is where you're going to be placing the block or the blanket or the pillow. So come down on your back. Let your back relax. Let it melt down a little bit. Rock and roll on it if you need to. Make sure my Timer is close by. And then we're going to lift up our hips and place that object. If you're using a block, it's going to be on the lowest side so that you're not lifting your hips up too high. We're going to inhale up, slide that right into that nice flat spot. It'll feel good when it's there. Unless you're really, really sensitive in your sacroiliac area, which is where the two joints in the pelvis meet around the sacrum, that's where you might want to even either add a blanket or just use a blanket for that. You're going to have your hips and your knees lined up with each other, and you can relax your arms out to the side. And if you like, you can stay just like this. If you'd like to have a little bit more stretch in your back, you can bring your arms overhead and relax them behind you. You'll feel the curve in your back go up a little bit more. And if you would really like to stretch out that back, then you can extend your legs out so that you increase the arch in your back even more. And you have this pelvic tip here. So I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to be here for 4 minutes. Again, if you find that you cannot tolerate this for the full time, you come out of it when you feel you absolutely need to. Take a deep breath in and let it go through your mouth. Take lots of those deep breaths. Really release the stress in your body if you're feeling it. And while you're here, just feel free anytime you start to feel tension filling up in your back or your legs, your hips, to take those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's take another deep breath in and let it go. If you have your legs stretched out, bring your feet back flat to the floor. And if you have your arms stretched out behind you, bring them out and down beside you. You can go into a T if you like. And we're going to transition now from this position into a leg up into the air position. So we're going to stay here for a couple of minutes with our legs extended up into the air. You can allow your arms to fall down, or if you feel like you need to be supported, you can put your hands on your thighs to help keep your legs from feeling like they're going to move around too much. And if you like, while you're here, you can push your heels up, point your toes, or alternate. Pretending you're walking. And just breathe deeply as you go through this movement. If you're feeling really ambitious, you can open your legs up wide, let your legs hang out into the air for a few breaths, and then slowly bring them back in together. Just become aware of the sensations you're feeling when you're doing these movements. Push your heels out, flatten your feet out. Point your toes as you reach up toward the ceiling. Or you don't have to do any of these. You can just enjoy having your legs up in the air. Deep breaths. In through the nose again. Exhaling through the mouth. And then we'll let our knees drop toward our chest as far as we can, and then push them back up again. Drop them down toward our chest, push them up again. And then very, very gently and carefully, you're going to drop your feet down to the floor, going back into the supported bridge pose, and press your knees toward each other. Just squeeze the knees in, and then relax. Squeeze and relax. One more time, nice big squeeze. Really squeeze as hard as you can and relax. Press your feet into the floor, lift your hips up slightly, slide your block or your blanket out of there, and then gently drop your back down. It's going to feel a little weird. Bring your knees up, rock across your back a few times. And then drop your feet down, but this time wide as your mat at least. And then we're going to windshield wiper our knees from side to side. One more time on each side. And then we're going to bring our knees back up to our chest, drop your arms out to the side, and then we're going to drop our knees over to the left, roll out to your hip, and we're going to look over toward the right. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling through the mouth. Just let yourself relax down here. I'm going to stay here for about a minute, so breathe deeply. Let your body just go. Just let it melt. Try to keep both of your shoulders touching toward the floor. Breathe deeply. Bring your knees back up. Roll on your back a little bit. And then when you feel ready, drop them over to the right side. And you can look toward the left. Take a few deep breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let your shoulders melt down. Don't worry about your knees not touching. It's got nothing to do with anything. Exhale. If it really bothers you, you can stick your block there. A few more deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then inhale your knees back up to center. Hug them into your chest. Rock on your back. Or if you like, you can go into happy baby. Grab your big toes. Soles of your feet head toward the ceiling. Just rock gently on your back. And then stretch yourself out into a big star shape. Wide legs, wide arms, coming into your Shavasana. Take lots of deep breaths here. Make sure you're feeling very, very comfortable. Let your body begin to melt down. Quiet your mind down. Just close your eyes and get very heavy, very relaxed. I'm going to give you a few moments here in Shavasana, so just let yourself go. Let your mind go to a place where you always feel at peace, wherever that is, and just spend some time there. Gently begin to wake your body back up again. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And give yourself a nice big stretch if you feel like giving yourself a full body stretch. Stretch it out. And then bring your knees back up to your chest and give yourself a big hug. And don't forget to thank your body. Your body did a lot today. Yin is a very strenuous stretch. Doesn't feel like you're doing much, but you are. And then, when you're ready, just roll over to one side for a few more breaths. Take that moment just for you. And then when you're ready, sit up and join me in easy pose. Let's close our class today by chanting one beautiful Om. Take a deep breath in and out, and then inhaling for Om. Let's inhale, exhale, inhale for Om. Om. Rub your hands together, generating some beautiful energy, your prana. Think of the places we stretched, our hips, our back. And as you do this, place your hands over your closed eyes, and when you breathe in, open them, sending that energy right back there. On the exhale, palms to ceiling, sending the energy out to the universe, but scoop up a little bit and bring it back to your heart center. Namaste. So again, I'm so sorry that my chat is not working. I have no idea why it's not doing that, but it is working on my phone. So if any of you want to ask a question or say a comment now, I'd be more than happy to answer them because I can see it on my phone. That's so cool. Okay, so Dottie, I'm so glad you got finally online. I don't know what happened. The only thing I could figure is when I first started to set this up, it dropped out completely. And then I had to reestablish it again. So maybe for some weird reason, you had got on the one that dropped out and you were kind of stuck there. So I'm thinking that maybe YouTube is having a few issues here today with their feed, their live feed. Maybe a lot of people are using it. I don't know how all that works. But I'm glad that you got in for the last part of it. I'm so sorry. But remember, this will be mounted up onto the video feed. Probably, sometimes it takes about an hour or so. Sometimes it's right away. I don't know why that's like that. But you'll be able to watch it from the beginning once it becomes a video. So anybody got anything they want to say? Now's the time. And I noticed here that Michelle Howell watched today. Hi, Michelle. Where are you in the world? Can you answer that question for me? Are you still there? And this is her first time watching the live feed. And of course, it had to be a day when we were having technical difficulties. So if you have a moment, Michelle, and you can tell us where you are watching from in the world, that'd be cool because we have ladies here from Raleigh, North Carolina. We have ladies here from Houston, Texas. We have ladies from Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. And we have ladies from Montreal watching. And from Lisbeth. Okay. And Susan says, thank you. Great yin class. You're welcome. And Dottie says she's not sure what happened, but she's been having issues. So Michelle says she's in Montreal, but presently she's watching from Washington State on the coast. Wow. That's cool. Does your sister normally watch? I know we have a few people out on the West Coast that watch us on the Friday class. And for that, I really apologize that there's not going to be another Friday class for a while. Most of the time, I had to put out a poll asking people to, part of the community page that we have, Northern Zen Community, to let me know what day and what times worked well. And Friday wasn't even one of the ones anybody picked. And especially not Friday in the evening or the afternoon. So remember though, if you are a member, and even I'm going to be posting some of the Zoom classes onto YouTube for the month of May, because not everybody that's watching the Zoom classes free is a member. But once you have a membership to Northern Zen Zoom, you can watch the videos at any time because they will be there for you, just like on YouTube, to access and watch at your convenience. So if nobody else has any other questions to ask, I'm just going to give you a few seconds because I know that there's a bit of a delay on that. Please ask away now, or else I'm going to say goodbye. So, oh, by the way, just so that you know, I had my first, believe it or not, only the first one, COVID shot yesterday. And so far, I'm feeling pretty good. I know my shoulder was a little bit tight today where I had the injection. And I feel a little bit tired, but I think that's because of the weather more than anything. But so far, so good. I haven't had any reaction adversely to it. Unfortunately, where I live, we're pretty slow in administering the COVID vaccinations, mostly because in my area, we have very few cases. So the areas that are getting most of the attention are the cities that are having the most cases in the area. And that's kind of, too bad for us because we could be all out there enjoying life by now because we don't have a really, really high population in this area that I am in. And we could all have been done twice, but because most of the vaccinations that came in were going to the high population areas, we got kind of put onto the shelf. And so we only had a limited amount coming in, so it took a lot longer. You too, Alyssa, have a great weekend. And I'm going to say goodbye to you all now. Remember, oh yes, Sunday. Sunday is the very first Zoom class, and you can access that link from live yoga classes on my website, northernzenyoga.com. It's all free for the month of May, all of the Zoom classes. You can join as many as you like. You'll see on the drop down, when you look at the page, that it tells you what the link is for certain days. Sunday, though, is a pretty intense yoga class. So if you're up for a challenge or you just want to see and watch what the dragon dancing is all about, join me. I'd love to have as many of you joining me that Sunday morning. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York time. Dragon dancing is a flow class. It has a little bit more challenging stuff added to it, but you can always skip over that stuff and just wing it through and just do the parts you can do. So it would be great to see you all there. So please consider it. I know it's Sunday morning. I know a lot of people go to church on Sunday morning, but if you're lazy and you're in an area where the churches are not open to the public yet, please join me. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll love dragon dancing. So other than that, I'm going to say goodbye to you all now. Don't forget to press like before you leave. Bye for now. Have a great weekend.